At long last, the drought is over. For the first time since like 1886 or something, our glorious leaders at Nintendo have decided to bless us with only the most esteemed of occasions. Finally, after so many of us had given up hope, we can all bear witness to that which has evaded us for so long. Yes, my friends, the time of reckoning is nigh. Prepare yourselves for yet another super low effort Nintendo Direct predictions video. Alright, so I'm going to divide this video into multiple tiers based on likelihood. I'll of course be starting with things that are almost certain to happen. First of all, the only thing that is absolutely 100% truly certain is that there will be Smash Bros. Ultimate news. And what Smash related news can there possibly be other than the obvious, a new fighter? I could sit here all day listing off my most wanted characters, Phoenix, right? But instead, it'll be easier to say which characters the new fighter won't be. More often than not, the DLC fighters have been characters that weren't necessarily the most fan requested. So I think it's safe to say that Crash Bandicoot, Geno, Doomguy, Sora, Dante, Rayman, Master Chief, Bandana Waddle Dee, Shantae, Travis Touchdown, Isaac, Diddy Kong 2B, Rex and Pyra, Ryu Hayabusa, Spyro, Lloyd Irving, Heavy, and Dr. Eggman will not be joining the Smash Bros. Roster at this time. We're only a few days away from the 35th anniversary of the original The Legend of Zelda. Hey, I have a video about that game you could watch right here. So yeah, there's a pretty high likelihood that we're gonna get some kind of Zelda 35th anniversary extravaganza. Expect to see new amiibo, maybe a return of the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch, and maybe, just maybe, a tease of Batwa 2. And I mean a tease. I'm talking like a few seconds just to say, yeah, this game still exists. Just like they did with the first Batwa back in 2015. And of course, it wouldn't be a 35th anniversary extravaganza without some good old-fashioned ports of the most popular games. So, which is it gonna be? Are we finally gonna get the long-awaited Skyward Sword HD? Are we gonna get to finally see Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask in glorious high definition? No. We're gonna get the two ports that will require the least amount of effort to produce, that being the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. And no, they will not be bundled together, so you better put aside 120 buckaroos. Other than that, this Direct is mainly for games meant to be released in the first half of 2021, so you can look forward to seeing a bit of Bravely Default 2 and Persona 5 Strikers, both of which release this month, as well as new Pokemon Snap and Monster Hunter Rise, both of which release in March. And while maybe not quite as likely, you can probably also hope to see more of Rune Factory 5, which releases this May in Japan. And while I do expect to see Monster Hunter Rise, I think you're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer for more news on Monster Hunter Stories Wings of Ruin, which is currently slated for the second half of this year. Finally, in addition to Persona 5 Strikers, we have a couple more Shin Megami Tensei games to look forward to. We know Shin Megami Tensei 5 is expected to have a worldwide simultaneous release this spring, so it's not unlikely that we'll get some news regarding that title. However, we also have an HD port of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne to look forward to, and it seems unlikely that they would release the old game after the new game, so considering Nocturne has already been out in Japan since October, I predict that Nocturne will be available for purchase on our Switches no later than in March of this year. Man, that was a run-on sentence. And now it's time for Speculation Corner, where I talk about things that we have a somewhat high likelihood of seeing, but are ultimately just wild guesses. First off, and the most likely, is No More Heroes 3. This game has eluded us for so long, I'm no longer certain that it'll appear anytime a Nintendo Direct is announced, but considering they did show it off fairly recently, and the first two games are already available on Switch, I'd say that No More Heroes 3 does have a decent chance. And if you think Nintendo is gonna sit there for 50 plus minutes talking about new games and not announce a new Mario game, then you are a fool. We're out of noteworthy Wii U game support, and we already got 3D All-Stars, so unless you want to listen to the fans and put 1,000-year door on Switch, the only thing left to announce is a new game. And no, sadly, I'm not talking about a new Mario Odyssey game. I mean something small, like a new Mario Golf game or some other Mario spin-off title. And that leads me to Kirby. It seems you can't take 2 steps outside your front door without Nintendo throwing another Kirby spin-off at your face. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they once again did just that. But at the same time, it has been a couple years since Star Allies, so maybe it's not too crazy to hope for a new mainline Kirby. A new update for Animal Crossing New Horizons almost seems like an inevitability. However, they seem to be doing just fine announcing these updates in their own self-contained videos, which is why I'm calling this mere speculation rather than something with a high likelihood. And the least likely of all is the long-awaited localization of the Great Ace Attorney 1 and 2. The demand is there, the rumors are there, the leaks are there. It almost seems like, yeah, of course it's gonna get announced any day now, but I just don't want to get my hopes up, man. This is all I've been dreaming of for years. Just don't do that. Don't give me hope. And now it's time for things that I do not expect to see in the upcoming Nintendo Direct. I mean, I'd love to see any of these games happen as much as the next guy, but they ain't happening, dog. Everyone is freaking out about the Zelda 35th anniversary, speculating on which games they'd like to see ported to the Switch. As I said before, I'm expecting a couple of quick and easy ports of the Wii U versions of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I am not expecting Skyward Sword. The whole game's combat system is built around the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. Trying to adapt that to the Joy-Cons, or especially the traditional button input, seems, well, I mean, nothing is impossible, but I don't see it happening. As for the 3DS remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, there is nothing I want more than to play these two gorgeous games in HD on this TV. Nintendo, please, my dudes, my guys, my fellas. Nintendo, please, I never ask you for anything except that. Yeah, so that's not happening. Another game that's not happening is Mario Kart 9. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still making ridiculous amounts of money, and I feel like superannuating it with a new numbered title would ultimately cannibalize its sales. From a business perspective, those resources would better be exhausted on projects similar to Mario Kart Tour or Home Circuit. But what do I know? I ain't no businessman. Super Mario Odyssey 2 will never exist. Call me a sourpuss negative Nancy all you want, but it's true, it's never happening. And no, I'm not just saying that in the vain hope that the universe will prove me wrong yet again, because I feel like every time I desperately want something I never get it. Yes, I am. But at the very least, even if there are plans for an Odyssey follow-up, you won't be hearing about it in the upcoming Direct. They would have mentioned that in the Mario 35th Anniversary Direct a few months ago, if that was the case. There's been rumors of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, and while I see no reason to believe that these games aren't happening, I don't believe we'll be hearing about them in this Nintendo Direct, since major Pokemon announcements are typically made in their own standalone presentations. Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 were both announced a million years ago, both only got vague teaser trailers, and both have never been seen again. I have no reason to believe that this will be the moment either of those games will finally get their grand unveiling, so slap that boy on a milk carton. There you go. And in the spirit of pessimism, what is the likelihood that the kings of questionable decisions themselves would hype up the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda without so much as mentioning the franchise's most anticipated installment, Breath of the Wild 2? Prove me wrong, Nintendo. And finally, I know nobody wants to hear such dire news, but Phoenix Wright will in fact not be the next Smash Ultimate Fighter. I'm sorry, but it's true. We Ace Attorneys have been forsaken. And with all that out of the way, here are my final anti-predictions. These will absolutely never happen under any circumstances in this Direct or literally ever. Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door HD. Banjo 3 for Switch. Mother 3 English release. Waluigi in Smash. And that's it. Them's my predicts. And now watch me be wrong about everything. And hey, while you're killing time waiting for the Direct to start, you can, watch some of my videos. You know, if you want. I mean, I'm just saying, I made this Zelda video, so, you don't have to, but I did work hard on it, so that'd be cool. Got a Bug Fables video, that was kind of popular. I mean, no pressure. But,